My name is Erica Lorraine Spencer, and I remain subject to state surveillance and terrorism by the state of California that is operating a malicious targeting system which is referred to as federal group stalking and monitoring via communication devices. And it is in violation of federal stalking statute 18 U.S.C. sections 2261A subsections 1 and 2. My website and podcast serve the public good by publishing evidence of the public entity's ceaseless engagement in a pattern of conduct intended to stalk and monitor via communication devices, surveil, harass, and terrorize an American citizen in concert with the people of the state of California. Documentation serves the lawful purposes of wide exposure, federal prosecution, and influencing federal legislation with policies specifically designed to punish, dismantle, and disincentivize an unprecedented targeting system by a public entity that acts in concert with the people of the state in order to criminally place under surveillance and terrorize an American citizen, which is a matter of public corruption in the state of California. It is Sunday, September 1st, 2024. It's currently 8:29 a.m. and the fake sun is directly in perfect alignment with me over my head while I am facing 9750 Key Point Avenue. That is the Holiday Inn, where the people of the state are engaged in state surveillance, ongoing criminal obstruction of justice, as well as federal stalking. And these are the license plates of the people of the state. License 8DBM984, 7UPT370, 910E57, Nevada. Winco, these are the third parties maintaining position around my room with the large trucks. Winco is, again, a facilitating venue and also a commercial actor engaging in light activity, relevant positioning, amplified audible activity. The entity is amplifying audible activity of large trucks and using them as light activity outside of, in alignment to my room. YAKE664 is Winco. YAJY763 is Winco. YAKE666 and YAKC241 Winco. 6ERV278. $8WQL284, 9JOV705, 9GDA744. And if you recall, you're looking at the image of the light source that's in alignment with me while I'm in the parking lot portion of the parking lot where my hotel room faces, the window facing Motel 6. I'm capturing the same exact thing at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So it is a scientific impossibility as I stand here and capture the fake sun, and you're looking at it over the top of my head in perfect alignment with my physical placement in the parking lot while I am physically placed inside of that building, the building that I'm facing right now at 8 in the morning, and I'm looking at this parking lot that I'm standing in right now. The fake sun is in the position over the top of my head, and it's at the same exact address. 7FPB636 is a demon engaged in ongoing surveillance for a prolonged period. They're going to federal prison. License 8WQL284, I read that one. This one with the black Jeep, that's the Jeep license plate I read. They're going to federal prison. Unlawful facilitation, systematic. 9JLV705, LVP91K, that's Nevada. GW6447C, that's Guanajuato. Grandeza de Mexico, so I guess that's a Mexican license plate. License 4X085440 03776R3 635M27 Nevada 82843R3 9HBZ469 7BGG264 8DWD896, the same black Kia Forte with no license plate. License 8SCL632, 7UPT370, 7UOK289, I read that one. 8PXM462, 4BSR612, 8JFW719, U08-9LF, Utah, 8LXF101, 95352R3. That's the demon using the door as a method of audible activity, stalking while they're anticipating my crossing path with their vehicle while they're stalking in the parking lot. 8SYT839. Paper CV30CZ4. 7YOU461, 7VXE207. Alrighty, 7SKC388. There was a license. Yeah, that's the license plate I needed to get. Again, the paper plate is CV30C74. That's paper on a white Honda Pilot. 7VXE207. 9JLX278. 7TEZ899. 8VOD039, engaging in surveillance in the parking lot, engineered light, they're going to federal prison. FP 208779, that's Illinois. Facilitation and impunity, terrorism by direct light, they're going to federal prison. You will see that Illinois license plate pacing in the parking lot with the male that you'll see in images crossing paths, walking in the parking lot. They're group stalking. You can see the fake sun moving as I move in the parking lot. So are the people, and engineer light is a part of their criminal conduct. And not only is that Illinois plate documentation of facilitation systematic, they're going to federal prison for impunity. And it's also psychological torture and a threat to your life while the people of the state engage in stalking you, and doing so in the manner that is illustrating mental illness as opposed to innocence, and that you're not group stalking. That's the people of the state, their pattern of conduct. They're focused on you, and they maintain presence all around you while that environment follows you around. And you're going to find yourself in a mental facility based on that entity's pattern of conduct. 7ACN991, and it's 8:35 a.m. 8DLS598. 6AKL229, 8HYF399. This is the same duo you saw yesterday group stalking, the Caucasian male and the African American male group stalking in the parking lot. 823U86 Nevada, 8XVZ853, 8XVZ853, 8WER421. The conversation is a means of audible activity. This is how demons are creating audible activity they're monitoring. 8GTY217, CJJ2860, Washington. 8UHK807. And you know that because of the fake sun, and you know that because of the impossible light activity. You know that because this hotel is filled with demons who are hollering at the top of their lungs, sounding as though they're the green giant when they're walking down the hallway, having isolated earthquakes inside of the hotel. These are demons who are monitoring by virtue of the desperate means, talking to each other to create any kind of noise. License. I don't see a license plate on this one. License, yeah, I read that one already. Yeah, this one just doesn't have a license plate. It's fine. It is 8:36 a.m. I find that to be hilarious. License, excuse me, 9BFE519. License AJA 4KK, that's Arizona, 8TOU870, 8STE382, 9GVA501. Standing, coming out into the parking lot from the back portion, meaning the side facing the Motel 6. And as you'll recall, every time I step outside of this hotel from the entrance, the fake sun is in alignment with my person at the front entrance. The reason why the fake sun is not in alignment with the front entrance, because it's not the natural environment, and the fake sun follows where I go. That's how you know that Holiday Inn and Motel 6 are stalking. 95352R3 is crossing path with a Latina female, pink sweater. Those are both third parties who are going to be prosecuted, and if neither one of them are natural born citizens, they're going to be deported. License plate 9CVJ074, 8GMN064. This is a demon. LWCOPA from Arizona is what it looks like. And they also like to reference, I love when Satan references the Lord Jesus while they serve Satan. Those are my favorites. They're going to be prosecuted for the satanic pattern of conduct that they're engaging in, group stalking with the state, and engaging in federal stalking, which is literally the evidence of demon possession, while they have signage referencing the Lord on their vehicle. License 5XHP612, license 5801BC, Minnesota, 8THX422, 7SSC077. The placement of the fake sun is speaking to the presence of Satan's minions, the demon possessed, who are group stalking. And then you have signage referencing the Lord Jesus Christ. Those are the most entertaining. 9MST106, 907R52 Nevada, FV6321, that's a Tennessee plate, 7WGN156. I think there's a license plate I did not get. IG7, that's Nevada. And again, I'm referencing license plates. This is an ongoing record while I remain at this facilitating venue whose pockets I'm going to drain. However, there is a prosecution that's existing beyond Holiday Inn, civil and criminal. And those who are systematically documented, systematically facilitating, they're going to federal prison. Okay, license plate 7WGN156, 7VLE629, 8S17276, 8PZC600, 9HHP336, 8TZK537, and my podcast is not the only means of identifying those engaged in systematic facilitation. 05221A4, 8TVG691. License plate 9GBB279. 7GMH291, 9NLX860, 59867Z1, 9FJZ883. Nevada is HO388. That's your handicap license plate. License 9EPL860, 8LWL965. And these are the demons engaging in harassment. These are the demons engaging in ongoing terrorism as an entity, group stalking in the hotels, increasing the level of terrorism and federal stalking, obstruction of justice while I'm on the internet. This is the same entity that's engaging in that. 59687Z1. License plate 8XDF997. That's a demon crossing path on KeyPointe and engineered lights moving all across the curb. All right, that's a demon engaging in the pattern of conduct in transit, just on the go, which is what the people of the state and the United States is what the country's engaging in. You can engage in domestic terrorism on your way to Starbucks, en route to go pick up your kid from daycare, or even with them en route to go drop them off at daycare, where literally the daycare center is engaged in group stalking as well. This is what the United States is engaged in. It is currently 8:40 a.m. This is P.O.C. Oh, Diamond Platinum members? You have to sign up for that? How long? Because I've been here for like over a week. When do I qualify as a Diamond guest member?
What room are you
in? In room 308. Impossible Light. What's your name?
Valerie.
Valerie. I spoke with you last night. Yeah, we got some interesting light activity on the wall. Okay.
Do you have your member number by any chance? Because it's not connected to your...
No. I'm asking, do I have to sign up to be a member, or do you just... Yeah. Is there an application to sign up to be one? Or?
No, I could just get an email and then I can sign you up.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll come back and find out about that. I just wanted to know. I see the chips all the time, and I don't see them for sale in here. And I was just curious.
Yeah. I can give you one if you want.
I'll come back and get one. Thank you, Valerie. Have a good day. Valerie's group stalking with the demons that are in the cafeteria and impossible lights flashing on the wall, just like you saw on video yesterday morning. And the people in the state are all under a fake sun. And these are the license plates of the demons engaging in state surveillance, federal stalking. And this is revealing mental illness. And this is a demon-possessed entity that's in a kitchen, group stalking together. P.O.C. All right, be mindful. Valerie is going to federal prison. All right, and it is currently 8:49 a.m. The people of the state are group stalking with minor children. This is noted with regard to taking these children from the custody of dangerous psychopaths who are group stalking in the state of California. The mentally ill that are currently in custody of children, including them in sexual violence, including them in terrorism with the government, literally engaging in what is abuse, as it's going to be recognized, as it is recognized under federal law, under any law, by the way, but this is the prosecution of the state. And it's 8:49 a.m. You're looking at crossing path light activity and audible activity, and it's at 8:49 in the lobby, where you can see the fake sun through the window, where everyone's engaging in the elements of monitoring together in the cafeteria area of the Holiday Inn. It's P.O.C. All right, it is currently 9:02 a.m. and the demons, these are third parties going to be prosecuted for domestic terrorism, but these are demons, and they're staying in room 306, they're staying in room 208, they're staying in room 206, they're staying in room 210 and room 310 and 309. And in the hallway, the entity is stalking with them. I mean, this is literally a demon that's in the hallway, stalking, creating noise with simultaneity to my movement in the room. And they're also the ongoing amplified audible activity and sensational activity. This is just speaking to the immediate environment. Remember, the entire entity is group stalking while demons surround in close proximity and maintain the elements of monitoring. The entity that I just documented, any of whom that are not natural-born citizens are going to be deported. Any of whom are engaged in facilitation, systematic facilitation, meaning you've been here 2+ days. You're talking about what is repeated systematic facilitation. They're going to federal prison, as I continuously document on my end, which is supplemental to the federal investigation, which will exceed what I am gathering what I am publishing with regard to the prosecution of the state, you're going to federal prison for any repeated systematic facilitation. And the entity is also losing custody of minor children who you also see engaged in state terrorism, engaged in what is the perpetuation of a conspiracy to murder and kidnap an American citizen while monitoring them, group stalking them, and engaged in federal stalking for also a criminal purpose, and also monitoring inside of a private space, which is exactly what you're doing while you're staying in any hotel room at the Holiday Inn, while an American citizen is placed under surveillance and is subject to federal stalking pursuant to that pattern of conduct. These are the many routes to federal prison, and this is all built into the prosecution of the people of the state who are at 9:04 a.m. listening to the evidence that's going to be published against them, that the world is also going to be aware of, and that is going to be used to prosecute them in many of the ways that I just mentioned. They're still engaged in ongoing terrorism as an entity, engaged in group stalking, showing their mental illness, which is also why they're going to be removed from children. But it is, again, 9:05 a.m. This is documentation of what is criminal obstruction of justice. This is harassment and terrorism as an entity that you are subject to, which is a threat to your life and safety. It's a threat to your well-being as well. It's also relevant to the intangible harms, the psychological aspect with regard to demons targeting you, demon-possessed people who are targeting you, and doing so because they are hostile. That's speaking to mental illness. That's a threat to you. Someone else's mental illness who is targeting you is a threat to you. This is what the demon-possessed don't even want you to know about, but it's on full display, literally. The P.O.C. and the prosecution of the state of California is an ongoing commercial regarding not moving to California if you don't live here, but also revealing what is a public safety concern, and that demon possession is not merely a need for deliverance. Well, I'm sorry. It's speaking to the need for deliverance that can only be provided through the Lord Jesus Christ, but it is speaking to what is literally the need for that on a natural basis with regard to the mental illness, the threat to your neighbor that you are while you serve Satan at this level, being demon possessed and group stalking. You are in need of not only an attorney, you would literally need the Lord Jesus Christ for deliverance from that condition, which is nothing other than the root to your criminal conduct and its judgment that's literally raining down from the spiritual down here into reality. And that's literally what's relevant, what's notable about the prosecution of the state of California while they engage in a satanic targeting system. It's currently 9:06 a.m. This is P.O.C. All right, it is still September 1st, 2024, and it's 3:42 p.m. And so what you'll see in the Google Drive is you will see evidence of the ongoing pattern of conduct. You will see the impossible. That is the fake sun that is over the same building as it was as I stood in the parking lot facing the building that I'm now standing in, I'm inside of, through the window. And so this is the time frame, 3 p.m. and 8 a.m., which is again 7 hours. And that's speaking to the ongoing demonic conduct. So I want to make sure that it's clear. For example, Valerie, you can see her sitting at the front desk this morning. Valerie is going to federal prison. And Valerie is being documented right now as I continuously am inside of the hotel room, and including as I begin recording this podcast, which is relevant for Title 18, Section 22618, subsections 1 and 2. The entity is showing its mental illness. And so Valerie is not only going to federal prison for being a domestic terrorist and for acting with impunity and malice, Valerie is going to federal prison for literally being a psychopath who is currently on the loose, who is going to be labeled the domestic terrorist that she is, in fact. And she will also be subject to mental examinations based on the demonic methods of targeting an American citizen designed to result in, that is the loss of life and or liberty of an American citizen whom she is group stalking on behalf of the state of California by virtue of being at the desk, where you will hear me narrating the pattern of conduct, flashing of engineered light that you already saw on video at this venue. That's exactly what's occurring while I'm standing in front of this demon going by the name of Valerie, who you also saw monitoring me while I called her on the speakerphone, while the demon-possessed are group stalking at the hotel, many of whose license plates I recited on this podcast today, September 1st, 2024. All of them are going to be prosecuted for domestic terrorism, for the engaging in a sex offense, which is going to result in them losing custody of any children that they have custody of, being deported out of this country if they're not natural-born citizens, going to federal prison for any systematic facilitation, of the system, and they're doing so with impunity. And so again, as I captured video, which is a screen recording captured at approximately 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I am capturing right now on podcast, because I want to be clear, it's not just Valerie. You'll see the housekeeper's Jose, who's group stalking. He's lugging a wagon, going around group stalking by gathering towels and sheets through all the rooms in relevant position under the fake sun and engineered light amongst amplified and sensational activity. You will see the housekeeper, who I document by asking this demon for cups so that I can get an up-close image of her face to report her. She's going to federal prison, and if she's not a natural-born citizen, she's going to be deported. And I recited all this in the evidence for the federal government, but the screen recording showing you the fake sun that's over the same building, which is how you know that all of the aforementioned are in fact demons, and so are all of the license plates referring to third parties. Those are all demons, and this is the same demonic system that's occurring while there is not ever any possible sun anywhere in Los Angeles, particularly over me in at Alvarado Gardens, where I lived and worked. And the entity engaged in the same pattern with regard to a specific environment that's demonic, but not a natural environment that has a sun remaining over Holiday Inn at 9750 Key Point, and also at 1800 North Alvarado Street, particularly 1806 North Alvarado Street, apartment number 6, and the leasing office, which is 1810 North Alvarado Street. So the entity is engaging in what is sensational activity, and that is including as I begin documenting, as I literally begin recording. So I want to make sure that I am capturing this. This is referring to the ongoing impunity that, again, Valerie is exhibiting, while demons, these are mentally deranged psychopaths who are group stalking, who are not stopping. I want to be clear, the criminal purpose is to engage in the conduct such that the target individual is supposed to be cowering, and none of that is happening. And these are psychopaths who are literally going to federal prison, okay? And they are literally going for a very long time. And I want to make sure that you look at every screenshot, look at their faces, because they are specifically documented. I took screenshots of their faces that through the video that I captured. I took images of them as I approached them. I'm also capturing the fake sun that is above them while they are group stalking me at this venue with and on behalf of the state of California. And so while inside of this hotel, the entity is engaging in what is amplified audible activity, as though any person that's how you know it's a demon that's on the second floor. In the same way, I can't touch the ceiling. There's no way that I am doing anything that's going to affect anybody if there was a room above me. But the entity, the only thing that's above me is a fake sun and demons who are stalking and plane and helicopter. What's beneath, though, are demons who are group stalking while amplified audible activity, as though that demon is reaching up and touching the ceiling. The vibration of this bed, very demonic. This is a very highly terroristic conduct, which Valerie is going to federal prison for. Okay. There is no anonymity with regard to who is going to suffer the consequences. And I mean the manager, I mean every employee that's present at work. They are present on surveillance cameras because the entity that's engaged in the system are demon possessed. These are pathological liars. Their entire life is an act. Their identity, everything about them. This is speaking to literally the reality of this country. It's an entire act. This is true even in the lives of the demon possessed. Okay. So you are expecting acts of criminal obstruction of justice, criminal acts of obstruction of justice. So you're not just going to rely on the work schedule. The entity is engaging in that which it will not avoid. Time in federal prison and prolonged time. So I want to make sure that I'm documenting that. I'm publishing videos onto YouTube. I'm currently up to July 10th, 2024. With regard to uploading it, and then I will be publishing it systematically. But that's where I'm uploading it onto the Google Drive. I'm uploading that. I'm taking screenshots of that. While I'm capturing it, I'm uploading my videos to YouTube, which is the internet. This is relevant to Title 18 federal stalking. As I am downloading videos from my Google Drive onto my phone in order to upload them onto YouTube. The entity is engaging in ongoing earthquake conduct. And by earthquake conduct, I mean the ongoing sounds of troubling and vibration, which is not going to occur through anybody underneath on the second floor. It's not going to reasonably occur from any room adjacent to me. Okay. You're not creating any earthquakes while you are in rooms adjacent. There's nothing that is going to create that manner of disruption to the room, in the room adjacent to you. This is clearly demonic, and the entity is engaged in this ongoing criminal acts of terrorism. This is criminal. And Valerie is going to federal prison. Just to give you one example. The demons that are group stalking by housekeeping at Holiday Inn, they're all going to federal prison. They are all captured on surveillance cameras. Their identities are all known, and I'm also capturing, going through the endeavor and documenting them. The license plates are all documented. They are going to federal prison. So are the people of the state that are engaging in this corporate act of terrorism, which is a sex offense. Okay. And all of that is going to be detailed in their criminal records. Well, again, for domestic terrorism. So I want to make sure that I capture that while the fake sun remains over my window, specifically over my window at what is after 3 o'clock in the afternoon. It's 3:49 in the afternoon, which is evidence of the demonic. And so I'm going further to detail on podcast. And you can literally go through the Google Drive, which is included in the description box for this podcast for today, September 1st, 2024. And you can see the images of the demon possessed. They are all races. You can see the screenshots of them, not only images, but also screenshots. And you can also look at the videos where you are looking at the faces of people who are going to federal prison. And they're doing so. It's not just limited to the demons that are working at this venue. Also, those systematically documented, meaning they are engaging in what is a prolonged engagement in service criminal conduct on behalf of the government. You're going to federal prison. So that's again no long legal analysis or certainly no negotiation regarding that. And the absurdity with regard to the demonic conduct that the entity is engaging in is to its own demise. So the entity is engaging in conduct, and this is to inform the multitudes regarding psychopaths that are currently on the loose. And this is also the public service that this documentation, that this prosecution serves, because there are people that are not properly diagnosed. There are people that are not recognized under what's going to be federal law, because the state that's engaged in group stalking is not prosecuting anyone for the criminal conduct that it is engaging with them, and also not exposing what are the violent sex offenses that are underway on a daily basis. It's just routine with regard to being in the state of California. There is no existing criminal record regarding that sexual violence, and that's what's also going to be necessary. And you're learning about that with regard to keeping a woman under surveillance, and everything regarding that woman, everything that she's doing at every moment of the day, that is inherently sexually violent as well, sexually motivated and predatory, totally illegitimate. It is totally unlawful. There is no legitimate purpose for it whatsoever, other than, in addition to being demon possessed, in addition to seeking to have some sort of unwarranted, unlawful, and ungodly form of control and power over an American citizen who has constitutional rights where you are not God. But this is also because of your sexual interest, your obsession. All right. Federal group stalking and monitoring is going to be prosecuted as the exceedingly violent sex offense that it is. And the entity does this with minor children. And so while you make minor children exceedingly violent sex offenders by engaging in the elements of monitoring with you, you have lost custody of all of your children. This is how all of this is being handled simultaneously while the entity engages in the P.O.C. They check into the hotel with children. I'm not laughing because it's funny. I'm laughing because it is that comprehensive, the prosecution for the P.O.C. So I want to make sure that I'm capturing at 3:52 p.m., uploading videos from the internet, downloading videos from the internet, uploading videos onto the internet, and also uploading videos, images, screenshots onto the Google Drive, where you can witness, again, look at and inform yourselves regarding what demon possessed people look like. They look like your neighbor. They look like your mother and father. They look like your girlfriend and your husband and your boyfriend. They look like your supervisor. They look like the janitor that works at the high school. They look like your pastor. They look like your peers. That's what they look like. All races, speaking multiple languages, having different socioeconomic statuses. I am in Hesperia, which is not the richest, most impressive region whatsoever. You can contrast it with somewhere like such as San Diego, and you have seen they are equally engaged in cockroach-like conduct. There is nothing impressive and there is nothing distinct about the demon-possessed population, who are equally obsessed, by the way, equally deranged, equally sexually violent and demented, and equally defendants with regard to the federal prosecution of the state of California. There is at no time any sun over Fairfield by Marriott in San Diego, California, when I'm showing it's remaining for 7 hours over my window at the same venue in Hesperia. And that's providing the context regarding the ongoing sensational activity, my bed shaking and vibrating, the ongoing sounding as though someone underneath me is tall enough or beating the ceiling somehow, very demonic. And that's a trauma that the ordinary target individual suffers, okay, while you are enforcing your rights against a demon-possessed population that surrounds you and is obsessively stalking you. Obsessed with your genitalia, obsessed with whatever it is you're doing, you're talking about, where you're going, what you're wearing, where it is that you're headed on your GPS, what it is that you're doing on the internet. Those are demons that are engaging in that demonic system. They are literally out of their right minds. All manner of screaming, all manner of pacing around. This is under a fake sun. This is the work of Satan. Satan having its way amongst psychopaths who are engaging in what is the demonic system of group stalking. Group stalking is demonic activity. Okay, and it's occurring under what a name that you are familiar with. You see it on TV. Holiday Inn is not telling you anything about the fact that they serve Satan. Holiday Inn serves Satan. Holiday Inn is in service to Satan. Holiday Inn is owned by Satan, and that's why the demon-possessed work for them. And that is also speaking to the demon-possessed who owns Holiday Inn. And I'm going to prosecute Holiday Inn, which is nothing other than the people of the state. So I want to make sure that I'm documenting that, because while the entity does so, the entity is listening to me remind it about everything that it's doing. It's doing it to your own demise. You're going to federal prison. The fact that you are a psychopath, the fact that you're a sex offender, the fact that you are a demon-possessed group stalker, which is a domestic terrorist, is public information. And it's going to go even further with regard to the public. It is to your own demise, and that is providence, so that the entity, the rest of the world knows about the entity that you are identified with, how you operate, and the threat that you are. While you continue to do it and you're sitting up listening to it, you are not right in your head while you're group stalking the wrong person, because I'm going to prosecute you and embarrass you. It's 3:55 p.m. and I'm inside of my room, and the entity's keeping the fake sun, which is speaking to the ongoing terrorism, while federal stalking with the intent to obstruct justice remains underway, and for which, again, third parties such as U.S.C and every other demon whose images I captured, Valerie and Jose, to name a few, they're going to federal prison for it. And the people of the state, they're going to federal prison as well. I'm documenting their license plates on an ongoing basis, and the entity acts with impunity. The entity acts with malice. And you're seeing the ongoing mental illness that a demon-possessed entity wants to keep a secret. They don't want you to know about their mental illness. Their mental illness is fully known with regard to the evidence of their criminal system. All right, again, it's 3:56 p.m. and this is P.O.C.